Today we're going to talk about what your ex-girlfriend said versus what she really means. But I am by no means a soothsayer. I actually have no idea sometimes with what women say and what they actually mean. But luckily for me, I have a pretty large audience of women who do. So in preparation for this video, I ran a special poll in my private Facebook support group with over 3,700 women in it and asked them, hey, when an ex-girlfriend says this, what does she really mean? And they responded, and some of their answers were fascinating to me. But first things first, which kind of things did I ask these women? Well, I polled all kinds of men coming to my website, exgirlfriendrecovery.com, and basically asked them, hey, if you want to know one thing about what your ex-girlfriend said, what would it be? And after a while, 5 clear patterns emerged. So here are the 5 things that we're going to be deciphering today from real life women. We're going to talk about what your ex-girlfriend says when she says that she changed. We're going to talk about what your ex-girlfriend means when she says that she hates you. We're also going to talk about why your ex-girlfriend says it's too late and what she means. Then we're going to talk about when your ex-girlfriend says that you're just friends. And then finally, we're going to talk about what your ex-girlfriend means when she says to move on. Now, first things first, before we actually get to the goods, the first thing you should always do, no matter what situation you're in, is first figure out if you even have a chance of getting your ex-girlfriend back. Now, luckily for you, on my website, www.exgirlfriendrecovery.com, I've put together a special quiz designed to answer this very question. Now, all you have to do if you want to take the free 2-minute quiz is simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click at it. It's that simple. All right, let's talk about what your ex-girlfriend means when she says that she's changed. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, I polled over 3,700 women in our private Facebook support group and asked them these 5 questions. And what's really interesting is a lot of the responses that we got were varying. Some women said that it meant this, while other women said, no, it means this. And so ultimately, I didn't know where the truth was. But what I could do is sort of aggregate the data and tell you what the big patterns were with regards to what hundreds of women said this meant. So when it came to what an ex-girlfriend means when she says that she's changed, there were 3 clear patterns that emerged. Pattern number 1 was, my feelings for you have changed, or I'm not feeling attracted to you anymore. So with this one, it's basically being blunt. Your ex-girlfriend says that she's changed, she meant that her feelings have changed and you have no chance of getting her back. She doesn't want anything to do with you. But the next 2 answers were differing. The next one was, hey, change your ways and then we'll try. So what's interesting is we have kind of a paradigm going on here. One woman says, no, it means this, while the other says, no, it means this. The real tiebreaker in the pattern was the next thing that another woman said. Basically, she said, I don't like you that much anymore. So when we look at all the patterns that emerged with an ex-girlfriend saying that she's changed, what can we take that to mean? Well, personally, when I look at the data, it to me looks like your ex-girlfriend is saying, look, the way I feel about you have changed because of the way you're acting. You need to change your ways or else. But some women don't even give you that or else. In fact, a lot of women say, I don't like you that much anymore. But here's kind of the cool part. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't have a chance of getting them back if that's what you want. It just means that you need to understand that when your ex-girlfriend says that she has changed, it means that she's tired of your behavior. You need to kind of fix it. And that's something that you're gonna have to do over the next few months. Now, let's move on to the next thing that your ex-girlfriend probably says, and that's what she means when she says that she hates you. Now, going into this, I thought this would be the most interesting sort of thing to decipher out of all of the 5 questions that men wanted answered, but it was by far the least interesting to decipher because almost resoundingly, the women agreed that it meant one thing. I really don't like you, but I love you. So, like I predicted for many of my women clients, when men say this to them, the same seems to hold true for women when they say it to their ex boyfriends. Essentially, it's an in-the-moment reaction to something that you may have done that makes them say, I hate you. Do they truly mean it? Almost all women said, no, we don't mean it. We just mean it in the moment. We still really love you. So I'm not really sure if there's much to expand on with this one other than, look, don't take it personally if she says that. You went through a breakup, one of the most emotional experiences you can cause another human being. If she says she hates you, she doesn't really hate you. She still loves you, she just doesn't like you in the moment. So let's move on and actually try to understand what your ex-girlfriend means when she says that it's too late. Now, while the last sort of says versus mean thing with what your ex-girlfriend meant when she says she hates you, for me, this was going to be the least interesting one, but turned out to be the most interesting one. But essentially, universally, almost all women agreed on one thing. Almost, I say, because there was one woman who said it meant exactly what it meant. Actually, maybe that's not true. Maybe there's a couple more women than just one. But mostly, when you look at like 90% of the responses we got from women, they meant mostly one thing. Try harder. Beg a little. We want to see that you've changed. In other words, when your ex-girlfriend says that it's too late, it's actually not too late. Now, I will say that mostly of the response in the surveys said it meant like beg a little or, try harder. A few people did say they meant it completely. So some of you may be sitting there with a lot of hope, but don't get so cocky because you may have one of those ex-girlfriends that means what she says at face value. Most of the time, though, what you can learn when you actually look at the human being behavior is that women who really want you to beg a little or try harder will continue to engage in conversations with you. Women who don't will not engage in conversations with you. So look at that as the ultimate proving ground for if your ex-girlfriend means it or not. Okay, let's move on and try to understand what your ex-girlfriend means when she says that she just wants to be friends. This one for me was a really interesting one because we got kind of a wide variety of sort of interpretations on what it ultimately means. I'll give you examples. One woman said that she usually means it when she says it, but there's always a way to get out of it. Another one said, well, she usually means it, which means no romantic feelings for you anymore, but sexual feelings could still be there. In other words, friends with benefits is probability. Then another one said, I'm not sure if I'm attracted to you yet, but I like your personality. In other words, with that one, it's essentially like, I don't know you well enough yet to trust you with my heart. And perhaps the interpretation that I like the most was from a woman who said, I like you, but I don't trust you enough yet to kind of take things to the next level. So as you can see, there are multiple different interpretations on what being friend-zoned could mean if a woman does it to you. All right, now we move to the final one and arguably the one you're probably dying to learn. What does your ex-girlfriend really mean when she tells you to move on? This one was again almost universal from all the women that I polled, and universal in a way that you wouldn't quite expect. Some women totally meant what they said when they said it. In other words, stop messaging me, leave me alone. But then there was kind of another camp that fell into place. The one that basically said, just give me some space right now, or give me space until I'm ready to reach out to you. And then there was a final camp, the you're scaring me camp. This is a camp you don't want to be a part of. And oftentimes, if you're in this camp, it's because you've been reaching out excessively and it's not quite worked out so well. Hey there, thank you so much for watching the video until the end. If you haven't already, make sure you take our X Recovery Chances quiz on our website. If you want to take that quiz, all you got to do is just simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on it. Finally, if you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. It helps us with the YouTube algorithms and we can get featured in more places and our brand can grow. So just hit that like button and we'd be forever grateful. I'll see you next time.